Hey everybody, Evan again, coming to you with another kind of overview video. This one's going to be a little shorter than the other one. But to get started, this is my first Longshot out of the two that I'm going to be reviewing today. As you can see, it's got a Stryfe with the same motors as my Rapid Strike. It's the Blade 180 motors installed. This is currently fixed like a foregrip on the Longshot, and works quite well. Runs off of just one. It's a 9.6 volt, the 9.6 RC battery that works quite well. It's not nearly as loud as the Rapid Strike is, and it's on almost a little more than half the voltage. I like that quite a lot. The Longshot itself is running off of a OMW Works kit. That's the red polycarb Longshot Immortal kit that I have installed in this, which I'm very pleased with. It's a good kit. It came with two main springs. There was a 5 kilogram and an 8 kilogram spring. This one has the 8 kilogram just because I like the power. This switch right up here, that's for the Stryfe, and this is the battery connector. I haven't figured out a perfect way to carry the battery besides taping it on top of the stock. And I actually don't have any tape with me right now, but I'll just set it on the stock. But this is how I normally use it. Just put it up right there. You end up doing something else, probably maybe putting it in the stock. Then I got a stock lock in here, so even if you press the button, you can't retract the stock. Also, OMW Works sends the metal trigger with the Immortal kit, which I think is really awesome. People complain about the metal triggers, saying they're slow, they're not as responsive, but if you use enough of the silicone grease they send you, it should be fine. I also have foam padding on the handle because it's small, and I have mitts for hands. They're huge, so I like the feeling of it, and it's also softer than the hard plastic and paint. All that aside, I guess I'll do a small firing test. So here's 12 rounds. Stryfe is in the perfect position for me. It's right there, perfect foregrip, I think. And I just pushed a dart. There we go. All of the locks have been removed. Everything has been cleared out. Electrical and mechanical lock. I rewired everything with a higher gauge wire. I think it's 18 gauge. So there's less resistance, just like in the Rapid Strike. It's not basic mods, but it's easy to do. All you have to do is, wherever you see a regular wire, solder it out and solder in a bigger one. So that aside, let's just do a small firing test. Yep, and that's all 12. And for the Longshot, I just have 6 shots in an 18 round mag. And with the Immortal kit, with the bigger spring in it, if you just pull on the right side, it won't work as well. You have to kind of like pull in to keep it from warping, which is no problem for me. So. And it's a little tight because I actually padded the priming bar right there. Normally I'll just be doing it with my left hand, and there's no foam on that side, so I don't know why I did it with my right hand that time, but I like this sticker I put on it. It's a Zombie Outbreak Response Team sticker. I don't know if you can see it with the lighting right there. And then this side, named it Thor, just because it is super powerful, and I don't know, thought the name kind of fit. So that's it for Thor. If you're familiar with brass breech Longshots, then you'll get this. This is running with a recon pump. as the pump grip, which worked phenomenally well because since it's a clip-fed blaster, the prime is exactly the same length. So all I had to do was cut down the Recon pump and epoxy it on there, and then just drill a hole in it for these rods. Couldn't do an internal pump because there's too much crap in the way, especially up here, and these rods were too thick to go in between the bolt sled and the plastic wall. And another thing is, the bolt sled here, you can see it's actually shiny, it's metal. It's a Remedy metal bolt sled. I actually won it with a bunch of other modding materials on eBay. I wasn't going to use the bolt sled in this, but when I did the brass breech, a brass breech is supposed to be airtight between the bolt and the barrel, but there's so much room for error with this. If you're off by like a millimeter, it's not perfect, and I was off by less than that, but it's still not perfectly airtight. And with a regular bolt sled, it's plastic and it warps. So with the metal one, it's not going to warp at all unless you have like 100 pounds on, and even then it won't. So it'll go back to the same exact point every single time. Here's the brass breech itself, got the tightening rings up here. I epoxied on the dart tooth, and then down in there you can see it, it's nested brass. Also I had the brass barrel come out the front just because I think it looks cool. Gives a, like, why is there brass sticking out the front of your gun kind of look. But oh, another thing, I left in the lock that keeps this from sliding back just because I'm not going to be clearing any jams from above, especially since the brass comes above the darts. You can't get around it with your hand unless you want to cut yourself on the edge. The only way you can unjam it is take the clip out and go in from underneath, because like I said before, brass is on top of it. You can't clear a jam from above. And also, I think it looks kind of cool when you can do that. Overall, I'm really happy with this. As you can see, it's not the heaviest prime, it's just that there's friction with the Recon pump and the other parts. It's not the most airtight thing. You can kind of hear it seeping out through a small gap in there that came from, I think, just sanding the brass. This is my first real brass breech that actually worked. I get about, I don't know, maybe 100 feet flat with good darts, and if they don't chop. And if I angle it, I know my firing range is my front yard, so I know that from my house to the street is 120 feet, and I'm going over the street, over the fence on the other side into a farm field where I can't find the darts, so angled it's going far. And I only use elite darts, so it's a little bit better. If I use streamlines, they would not go nearly as far. And this is only using a 5 kilogram spring, which is phenomenal. If I put in a bigger spring, like say an 8 kilogram one, or maybe a 10 kilogram, then it would be getting much further ranges, or it would just make the darts spin out of control, and I would have to use modded darts, which I can't use at my school. And this is not my school, that's my sister's school, so ignore that. Yeah, at my school we can't use modified darts unless you just cut the backing off, which if you don't weight the front end, it's going to make it even more unstable, so there's really no point. It's like a fake Stefan dart. So I only use stock darts full length. I might buy a pack of 75 just for this to trim like a half a centimeter, because it chops darts every now and then and jams and it ruins them, and I don't like that. So this came out really well. I was thinking about integrating a tack light in here, or, well, yeah, but this this bar that goes right through, it goes all the way through, so it kind of get in the way. And I left the stock on this one actually collapsible, because this thing's tiny compared to all of my other Longshots. So if I can stow this in a backpack, that would be awesome. So I could just throw this, collapse the stock. I lowered the tack rail already, so it's really low, you can see that. didn't do too much. I just kind of cut it off the back, cut off a little bit of the front piece up here, and lowered it. I cut it so it was flush, and then I lowered it. And so really happy with that. I'll do a small firing test. So I'm just gonna shoot off 6. So that's 6 darts. For a long shot, that's very, very fast because, you know, it's bolt action. But this is pump action, so it's basically like firing an Alpha Trooper or a Raider. This is awesome. I love it. Definitely going to be using it for HVZ. I haven't used it yet because I did this over the summer. Yeah. Overall, great blaster. I love the rate of fire and the range of a long shot. Like I said before, I love long shots. I like their range. The only thing I don't like is their rate of fire. So this has the best of both worlds. I can keep aimed on a target. I might drop it to pump, but I still stay aimed instead of, you know, having to go out to the side or whatever. And really happy with this. Came out awesome. First brass breech for me, which is phenomenal. I love it. So I think that's it. I guess I'll throw it in with this video, another long shot. This is my current project. It's a long shot pistol. Paint isn't perfect. I mean, the tape seeps through, but it was, I mean, I have 7 already before this one. This makes 8. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a pistol. I think I'm going to put the stock back on it. Put a stock block in it so it's kind of like a, I don't know what the word is for it. Kind of like a submachine gun size. Small. Actually, when you do a long shot pistol, if you do it how I did, where you cut off the front like this tack rail is further forward and you end up cutting it off. So what I did is, I'll put it back on, just move it further back. So this has a Orange Mod Works 5 kilogram spring and all my internals, which are over there. Everything works. I just gotta touch up the paint. Like I missed a couple spots. I don't know how. Missed a couple spots. I just gotta touch up the paint, put some clear coat on it, put it back together, and long shot pistol. So I think that's it. Small update is, here is my Spectre barrel for the Rapid Strike, and finally finished the painting. I just have to clear coat it, and it matches quite nicely. But I don't think the Rapid Strike should have come with the barrel attachment muzzle, because it just doesn't look good with any other barrel attachments, I think. The Spectre one looks alright, it's just a silencer, but it's not, I mean, it doesn't really go with the blaster itself. It just looks like it's got slapped on there. When you see this, it just looks tough and mean and angry and like a machine gun. But when you throw something else on it, looks kind of odd and off balance. So that's that. And I think that concludes this video. So thank you for watching again. Have a good one.